Do you really think I was gonna do a festival this early? This is the closest thing you'll get to one, folks. At least for now. Anyways, hello everybody, JustGame7 here, and I just realized something. Despite my name being JustGame7, I haven't done anything Nintendo related for pretty much the entirety of this channel's existence. Well, I think it's time to switch things up a bit. Get it? Because the Nintendo Switch? Laugh. In all seriousness though, ever since I was a kid, I've been loving Nintendo as a company for the most part, and as a game developer. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk about something that's not about Dark Deception. I know, shocking, right? Now, if you follow me on Twitter, which you totally should by the way, link in the description, I was pretty much considering making a video about Paper Mario the Origami King when it comes out. At the time of recording this video, it has come out, but after the things I've heard about the game in reviews...
And I use the word options loosely, as the one you choose is almost entirely dictated by how the enemies are arranged in the puzzle phase.
It's also monotonous because the hammers and boots that you use for the majority of attacks offer little real choice. They all attack in the same two patterns.
But by and large, there's almost zero strategy to these fights.
Combat is largely uninteresting and one note, and your journey as a whole lacks meaningful player choices.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold on for that one. I might be making a video of it in the future, but for now, we're gonna be talking about something different. So, what would it be about the Nintendo Switch? Am I gonna be making a review about the console itself? Not really. I'm gonna be talking about a game on the Nintendo Switch. So, what could it be? Am I gonna be making a retrospective on Super Mario Odyssey, even though it's not a lot of a game? Maybe a review of Breath of the Wild, or maybe even a new game like, I don't know, Cloudfell's Games. Yep, that's right folks. Today we're gonna be talking about Ring... What the hell even is this? Listen man, I'm kind of working on the video, so you sound sick. Can you please come back late? Not you. Origami King may not be a good game, but you. You were thrown away for a reason! Hey, yeah! Well, that does happen. Anyways, as I was saying, in today's video we're gonna be talking about Ring Fit Adventure. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't this game like 1 year old at this point? Yes, but I managed to get it because of the production problems the game had. It was constantly unavailable whenever I wanted to buy it. It was insane. So, I don't care what you think. We're gonna be talking about Ring Fit Adventure whether you like it or not. So, does the game utilize the accessories bundle in it to the fullest potential, and does it justify to the dollar price point? Yes, but I'd like to go into a bit more detail, reviewing every part and mode of the game, in order to give a decently clear view of what's really going on inside this thing. So, we put the game in, and after some easy to follow tutorials, we get into the main menu. Honestly, it just looks really nice, clean, and is fairly easy to navigate as well. There really isn't anything to talk about here. This is just a well-designed menu. Before we get into the mods themselves though, I think we have to take a slight step back and talk about the accessories themselves, the ring con and the leg strap. The ring itself is way bigger than I was expecting. It's also really resistant. You need to put quite a bit of effort into pushing or pulling it all the way. However, there is a calibration option in the game where it will change how much pressure you need to put into it, depending on how strong you are, so it's fairly easy to pick up and play, no matter your fitness level. I just wanted to advertisements, didn't I? As for the leg strap, it works fine enough. Made in China. Overall, though, I found both of these to be really responsive. Now, some people could think that will be a big problem. You see, the gyro in the Joy-Cons can sometimes drift or get disoriented. However, the game knows about this and constantly recalibrates both of the Joy-Cons. So, at least for me, it wasn't a big problem. Enough talking though. We all know that the accessories are great, But what about the game itself? Well, let's get into it. Oh god, that was loud. Our story begins with this guy, or whoever you choose to be, stumbles upon a mysterious ring. After pulling it with all your might, it is pretty much revealed that an evil creature known as Dragox, or Drago, as they call it in the game, gets unleashed. Anyways, long story short, this ring is now sentient, it's your companion, and it's your goal to save the world from Drago. Yeah, the story isn't really the Shakespeare level of amazing storytelling, but I mean, at least it keeps you going, and I feel like it really ramps up from the first and second world and onwards. Speaking of, let's get into the actual game itself. In terms of the basic controls, you can jog in place to go forward, pressing on the ring con to do an air blast, and pull out of the ring con to suck everything up in your way. It's pretty simplistic, but it does its job. And I almost forgot about this, you can also point the ring con downward to calibrate it, and you can also press in on it while pointing it downward to pretty much jump. Now, there are a lot of other things you can do, but those come up a bit later in the story, so I don't wanna spoil these for you all. But long story short, the game works just fine in these sections, and it has some pretty interesting platforming and contraptions in general. After a bit of jogging, you'll come across an enemy. Yep, this is an RPG. And just like any typical RPG, there's a battle system. In the battle system, the quote-unquote fitness skills are your attacks. And obviously, you're gonna have to do some sort of exercise or activity in order to do damage to the enemies. When it's the enemy's turn, you will have to put the ring con into your stomach and push it hard to decrease the amount of damage that you'll get. Overall, this system works really great, and I found it to be intriguing enough that I wasn't really mad that I had to battle an enemy. It's really satisfying, and honestly, that's all that matters in an RPG, satisfying battles. There are also these rings, which are basically the currency of the game, which are used to buy clothing items and smoothies from shops. Now, there are a lot of other stuff about this game, like making smoothies and a lot of other stuff, but these are powers that you unlock. You see, Ring had some powers, but of course Dragox took them away, and you are basically on a scavenge hunt at one point in order to collect all these powers. Currently I'm in the 5th world of the game. I'm not actually 100% sure how long the game is, but at least so far it's kept me intrigued enough that I wanted to hop in and beat some levels. So overall, does the adventure mode give a satisfying experience while also being interesting? Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's a well-designed RPG. And I've also heard that there's some sort of skill tree that you can unlock later down the line, but of course I haven't unlocked it yet, so I can't really talk about that. So that technically covers it for the adventure mode. You go level to level, fighting monsters and bosses and stuff like that. It's fun. I really enjoy it. But what about the extra modes? See, adventure mode is only one of the modes available in this package. Well, let's talk about this, shall we? There are 4, I guess, sections in quick play: simple, minigames, sets, and jogging. Now, simple mode pretty much is what quick play is all about: quick bursts of exercise, and I really enjoy them. So let's go over one by one in a bit more detail. Pectoralis Major Challenge. In this one, you'll have to press in on the ring con as many times as you can in 20 seconds. This one, I personally found it to be really fun, but it can be also really tiring. Latissimus Dorsi Challenge. It's pretty much the same thing as Pectoralis Major Challenge, but you gotta pull on the ring con instead. I personally found this to be a bit more difficult than pushing. I find that the ring con has a bit more resistance when you're pulling it rather than when you're pressing in on it. So, therefore, at least for me, it's
way more difficult. Deltoids Challenge. This one you pretty much have to pull on the ring con while you have your arms up in the air. It's pretty similar to Latissimus Dorsi Challenge, Spinal Erectors Challenge. This one you gotta press on the ring con 20 times. Yeah, these two are just repeats of the first two minigames, just in different parts of the body. I don't really mind that though, because it's really obvious why they did that, so good on you, Ring Fit Adventure team. Quadriceps Challenge. In this one you have to do as many knee lifts as you can in 20 seconds. I really don't have too much to say about this one, it's just pretty difficult to get a good grade on, but it's fun. Mighty Pectoralis Major. And now, despite what it says, you won't have to actually press too much harder on the ring con. You will have to hold it in place as well for a little bit. And it just adds a lot more to the challenge, trust me on that one. I found this to be a pretty difficult challenge, but it's still fun. Mighty Deltoids. This is the same thing as Mighty Pectoralis Major, but you have to hold the ring con with your arms being upwards. And just like the previous one, it's also pretty difficult, but it's still fun. Now we go to the endless ones. These two are decently difficult. Endless Latissimus Dorsi has you pretty much pull really hard on the ring con and just hold it in place for as long as you can. The timer ticks down when you're not pulling it, so therefore it's a really intense game. And finally, Endless Deltoids is the same thing, you just have it upwards. This was a bit of an anticlimactic end, but still, these simple, quick bursts of exercise are really fun. Now let's go over to the minigames. Robo Wrecker, I really love this one. Pretty much, it's a different version of Whack-A-Mole. And I know what you might be thinking, wow, Whack-A-Mole minigames are in every single Nintendo game. No, this one is actually a bit more creative. There are two circles. One big one and one small one in the middle. Pretty much what happens is you have to press in on the ring con to hit the circle in the middle and pull on it to hit the circle in the outside area. And robots just come out of there, and it's a pretty simple Whack-A-Mole minigame if you look at it like that. You also have to move the ring con all around to hit these robots, and it can get really intense, especially on the advanced difficulty. But I still found it enjoyable. The controls are nice, and overall, it's a good game. I never really got used to the controls on this one. In this minigame, you're pretty much free-falling. While pointing the ring con upwards, you have to pull on it to open the parachute and be able to move around. And you gotta go through all these rings. I personally found this minigame to control a bit weirdly. I don't know, I feel like the momentum is a bit off sometimes. But I still found it really enjoyable nonetheless. I still prefer Robo Wrecker just because of the more convenient controls, but this is also a really fun experience. Squat goals. I hate squats, but I found this one enjoyable. Pretty much depending on how low you squat, you will jump either higher or lower, and you gotta collect all the tokens while they fly by. It's really enjoyable and fun. I really have nothing to say, I really enjoyed this one. Crate Crashers. Do I really have to say anything? Just look at the footage. You destroy boxes. It's fucking amazing. Squattery wheel. You control the height of these robots by squatting, and you control the wheels they have by pushing in on the ring con. And you have to match the face that you're plotting to the image that's given to you. I find the controls to be a bit weird. The ring con itself, actually. Sometimes you're gonna press in on it too hard and sometimes too lightly. I never managed to find a middle ground, but even then it's still a pretty good minigame, all things considered. I'm just not really good at it. Firefighter. I really enjoyed this one. It's a typical runner minigame, but of course you gotta use your thighs and press in on the ring con in order to jump. It's enjoyable. I have nothing to say, I really enjoyed this one. Bank Bounce. Yeah, this one is meh. The controls kill it in my opinion. I found a lot of this where you gotta hold the ring con in your stomach and go left and right. Sometimes I can... it's a bit painful to my stomach. It might be me, I don't know. I just found this to be a bit finicky. But I still enjoyed it nonetheless. You gotta go forward on this plank and collect as many tokens as you can. The controls are kind of finicky, but I guess that's the point. Bootstrap Tower. I have nothing to say on this one, actually. It's good. Core Crushing. I was really looking forward to this one. Unfortunately, the controls kinda kill it. This is kind of the same problem that I encountered with Bank Balance. How you gotta push in on your stomach and also move left and right. I find that to be sometimes a bit painful to my stomach. But again, I might just be doing it wrong. I might be bad at the game. I don't know. I found this enjoyable nonetheless. So I guess that's all that matters. Glutton Gallery. Nah. There are these tokens and bombs that fly around and you gotta collect them. No, the controls just kill it. My problem is a bit on my own end, I guess. I just find it a bit uncomfortable to just move left and right while pointing the ring on upwards. So this just might be my problem, but I don't know, I just found it to be a bit unreliable sometimes. It's a good game, nonetheless. Smackback. This is the only one that I actively disliked. You gotta hold the ring con and smack left and right with it to smack the discs back at the robots in order to collect so many points. The problem is that I will swing with all my might, but it will consider it a very bad swing. Like I didn't put any force on it at all. On the contrary, there are swings that I didn't really put too much effort into it, but it will be considered a good shot. And sometimes wouldn't even read my movement at all. I don't understand if I'm doing something wrong or what, but I didn't really enjoy this one. And finally we have Dreadmill. It's a bit tiresome, but I like it. You win this Dreadmill, I get it, Dreadmill, don't laugh. And you have to run forward to collect the tokens. It's really simple, and that's why I like it. It's fun. And that covers it for the minigames as well. Now, the last two are kind of filler, in my opinion. Sets are pretty much the fitness skills that you get from adventure mode. It's your typical exercising stuff, so yeah. And finally, jogging. I don't have too much to say. These are some of the levels, and you get to run around them. That's pretty much it, actually. So, that was all about quick play. And honestly, the rest of the modes are actually not really that interesting. Custom mode, you just put various stuff from quick play, and what we're gonna be talking about in a bit, which is the rhythm game, and you put them together in a list that you do pretty much daily. And the multitasking mode, which is fairly self-explanatory, you just do exercises while the system is in sleep mode. And finally, the rhythm game. Surprisingly, I don't have too much to say. I honestly think that the trailer, it says all you really need to know about it. It's a simple rhythm game. You move left and right, and you grab the notes, depending on what color it is. You either have to press on it, pull it, or you can just do nothing on some of them, and some parts you have to squat down. However, there are two modes in the rhythm game, arms and legs, and not arms and legs. Arms and legs is pretty much what the trailer showed, while core and legs is pretty much the same thing, but you put the ring on in your stomach and you move left and right. Yeah, I found this to be a bit painful. And yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy this one, and it can get really hectic. Trust me.
So, overall, do I think that Ring Fit... Oh, goddammit, this box is too big. As I was saying, do I think that Ring Fit Adventure is a worthwhile experience? Well, if you ask me, it's sure damn right it is. So, yeah, Ring Fit Adventure, alongside the accessories, are a worthwhile investment. I really enjoyed this game, and I can't wait to see what is awaiting me when I get back to playing in adventure mode. So, now if you excuse me, I've got some training to do. What? Oh, I'm training. Trust me, there's a screen in front of me. I'm definitely not acting like there's one here. Oh. Paper Mario Color Splash. No, it's a good game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow my Twitter if you want to. If you want to have any information in terms of what the project I work on. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to bury this dead body right here.